I'm gonna mess it up.
Favorite one.
Because this is a true first take, only take. The moon is right, the spirit's up. We're here tonight, and that's enough. Simply having a wonderful Ramblecast. Simply having a wonderful Ramblecast. There you go.
Very festive.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom.
Boom, boom,
Dun,
boom,
dun,
boom,
dun.
boom.
I think it's a great song. I just loathe those stupid.
That's my favorite song ever, but I hate that song.
The best, yeah. Everyone.
Oh, the
hates that
best
song.
memes that come from.
The best meme about that song is like Paul McCartney was really writing a song about witchcraft. When you listen to the lyrics, and then all of a sudden someone walked in and went, "Simply having."
The moon is right.
The moon is right.
Some of my favorite memes out of the Get Back thing are, Paul introduces simply having a wonderful Christmas time. They all said no, and then he said, "Pick up the Beatles."
That's hilarious. I haven't seen that one. Jack's already like, fuck. We're like 2 minutes in, and we're already talking about
Listen,
Beatles.
Jack, I'm only here for like 20 more minutes. I have another podcast I committed to tonight, so you don't have to suffer my presence for too long. Go ahead.
And for those that are tuning in for Chris, why?
Well, what was funny about before we hit record, we were talking about how everyone out there, producer Cliff from back in the old days, gave me a call because he wanted to know my position on the new Ghostbusters film. Because he went to, I don't know if it was technically the premiere, but he went to a Q&A where the director was there.
Jason Reitman, he's the pictures and everything.
Yeah. And and he said, like, because Cliff, that's what Cliff and I did. Like when we would see each other every 2-3 weeks in LA, we would always meet at the Grauman Chinese Theater and watch whatever movie was in the main theater. That's just how when we got for dinner and just kind of catch up. And he called me out of love because he said, "Nick, when I watched this movie, when it got to a certain scene, I just said out loud the theater went, 'Oh damn, Nick's gonna hate this movie from this point on.'" and he basically wanted to guess. He's like, "I know what scene it is and why you probably hate this film." And he was
Is it when there's a strong female character? Is that when like, "Oh damn, Nick's gonna hate it"?
No.
2 minutes in.
No, we've talked about it. I liked it, even though it was a bit slow in the first act, up until the grocery Walmart scene, and then after that I loathed it, because to me it basically became an homage or a copy of the original film, and I was like,
oh spoilers, come on. I needed it.
Alert.
I mean, if you haven't seen it at this point, then can you call yourself a Ghostbuster fan?
So. This is where I'll say to that. I can understand where people get maybe a little bent out of shape about that or saying it's just a retread. But what I did dig about it is the climax wasn't about that. It was actually the resolution to, the I don't want to spoil anything, but the resolution to one of the Ghostbusters being dead and the whole, it's a family drama movie that's in the Ghostbusters universe. And so I can understand if that's what you were looking for, but to me, the climax isn't all the stuff from the first movie. It's the resolution of, Phoebe's journey, her mother's journey, and them kind of coming to terms. And also all the Ghostbusters, them coming to terms with the passing.
Well, this was like, just because, that's usually when I have problems with things, it's usually plot wise. That's it. Mm-hmm. And, so I really loved the opening. I thought that was kick ass, like with, coming out of the mountain and Egon and like all that. I was like, this is great, and then I felt that after watching the whole film, I was like, okay, if I would have changed a few things, you should have introduced Ray like right then, like at the funeral or something, and have him kind of be like a Indiana Jones type teacher character. Mm-hmm. You still could have had all the Egon ghost stuff, and like all that, and like just had Ray kind of explain things a little bit more. That way, you could have slowly introduced the original cast back in instead of a cameo. Mm-hmm. And you could have explained a little bit better, like, oh, we had a falling out, but then something pulls them all back together at the end, because I just kind of wanted that more handoff than what we got. And and so that's where I felt it kind of dragged in that first act. It's like the female character, you're right, Jay, is a very strong, and she basically had to hold the film. She held it up because, like, to me, I'm with Jay here that the Stranger Things character was completely pointless.
I think it was. Jack thought it was pointless. I didn't mind.
Jack. What did I say? Jack. I meant Jack. Yeah, Jack. That's like because he didn't really provide anything.
I think what you're trying to say, Nick, is Jack's pointless at this point.
I never would say Jack's pointless.
Is Jack even on this show? He's just.
He's I feel bad. I feel like he's bored. He's like, why am I here? Why am I still doing this? But I cut off my finger.
What?
Yeah. And I saw Jack's finger and it looked like that, but mine. I can't see it.
There we go. Solo layout here, looking at the finger.
Anyway, but I saw his and it looked like it was Imperial merch.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I didn't think it was
I was just looking for a background.
And then like the whole Gozer point that didn't even bother me. It's like, to me, it's like, oh, like, okay, you can go back to an original villain. That's fine. But I felt that it should have been like built upon, like introduce her early in the film, and then like have her like take over the town or take over the county or whatever, and her like almost be like an introductory god or goddess to bring in like the true death of the world and have a true threat there, instead of giving us the same ending as the first.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I have another podcast to go to. I just committed to it. So you guys keep talking, and I got to go to that podcast.
Is it with Chris?
Before Matt asked me. Jesus.
I'm just kidding because I'm just laughing at what they're saying in the chat.
I've got nothing to say about the Ghostbusters movie. I haven't seen it yet. So
why haven't you seen it yet, Matt?
Oh, yeah, fuck, dude. Why didn't you say that? I wouldn't have said anything.
That's okay. I wasn't really paying attention.
It was only a C-.
My backgrounds.
Here's I saw another movie, Encanto, this weekend, which was a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, I saw that, the cartoon, right?
Yeah, it's a new Disney movie. And Manuel Miranda did the music or the songs for it, which was great. And but it's like it's like the least, it's fantasy still. It's like a Disney kind of fantastical movie. But they tackle some like legit family drama type stuff on a
cartoon. Level. It's heavy, huh?
Yeah, and poor Colleen, she was just like sobbing by the end of it, and so like I feel like for adults, it's gonna hit super hard compared to kids. Like, oh, it was a fun movie about a house that's magical.
It's kind of like I never watched Soul because I knew that it was going to be heavy like that, and I was like, I don't want to watch a depressing cartoon.
Really didn't think it was that heavy.
Yeah, Soul wasn't. I thought it was really nice because it kind of like showed like if you are on the more positive side of like existentialism. Like I thought it had a really kind of nice spin on that. Versus this one, it's almost like the like social dynamics of families and like if you're the black sheep or you're where you feel like you're not good enough or like all these kinds of things and anyway, like it was really good, but it was really heavy. Like,
it's kind of like Toy Story.
No, like more heavy.
Heavy. You keep saying that word. Is there some kind of
something wrong with the Earth's gravitation?
What's wrong with it?
Yeah.
But it really just hit. There was just the first kind of big song after the first couple opening numbers was about this one sister who just feels this pressure to be perfect because she's the oldest sister and just kind of goes through all this stuff. And it was like,
do you know what that's like?
No.
Oh,
well,
okay.
I guess, but
I mean, like seeing it through your sisters.
My parents weren't like that. I had pretty good parents. They didn't really put immense pressure on me. Jack was like, "You're an idiot. Like if you're able to believe and like, barely make it through things, you're good. You're doing good, Jack." But
never said idiot. I might have said moron a few times.
Cement head. You know what? One of the many.
Moron.
Well, cement head because you're just fucking stubborn. You're just
No, I was spacey. That's what it was. That's why he called me cement head. It's like cement head. You didn't listen to what I was saying. I told you to go do this thing.
Well, because you could only do one thing. If I told you two.
Little did people know I had undiagnosed ADHD, and that's why I couldn't focus on.
So but anyway,
I feel like Jack's just updating the term meathead. Like he grew up with meathead, so he's like, I gotta come up with something better.
Hello.
Hello.
He couldn't say stupid fuck, so he's like cement head. That's nicer.
I would probably say dumbass. Look, dumbass. That's how you.
No, you did that as well. Then. But anyway,
the Jack was Red Foreman.
Yeah, but it's just like it took a turn where like all these sisters have powers. Like, oh, people think, oh, so maybe like an X-Men kind of like, nope, it's like family drama, and it was really intense, but it was good. It was a really good movie. But I feel like some adults, depending on how you grew up and maybe your family dynamic, if it's a healthy one, it's fine. But if it's not a healthy one, it's gonna hit. It's gonna hit hard.
Well, I could see where, like with Colleen, because you're talking about like sisters, like and she has two other sisters, so it's like, I could see where that you can make the parallels,
And that's actually like it's probably more. I'm probably sharing too much, but anyway, it just depends on your.
We do on podcasts.
Situation. What?
That's what we do on podcasts, right?
I did want to say I saw something probably really intense, more intense than what Jay saw this weekend. I saw Disney on Ice.
Oh man.
Yeah, that was like.
Did someone try to take their skate off and like stab somebody?
No, it was nothing. Oh. The whole time I'm like going, if I could still skate, I could do what they're doing.
They don't get paid much. Were we all together when I looked at how much they get paid?
It's all Disney employees.
Your mom was in the shows before.
They only get paid like $600 a week when they're actually like doing it. So they maybe make like $26,000 a year or something like that.
And they got to pay they used to have to pay their own room and board.
So like artist pay. I got it.
Essentially, yeah.
People just don't want to pay for it. I was just like, because they don't have any big name stars. Like in the past, they would have like a Dorothy Hamill or
that's Ice-capades.
No, but even your Disney, they would compete for the big. They would compete.
Stars
for the big
on Ice
stars.
has if you want to see like the old timey guys that are retired,
I've seen them 1,000 times.
I only want to work on escapades. So
escapades. Yeah, it was, but there was a part where
I'm trying to remember that song, Escapade.
They were in hockey skates and they set up these ramps. And I'm like going, literally, I haven't been on skates in 4 years, but I could probably do what they're doing. It was like, this is no, except that when the guy did the backflip, I said, no, I wouldn't do that.
I actually thought of you, Jack. I went and saw the Avalanche play at the Red Wings on last Friday. And there's one.
Well, I only do for good teams.
This one ref, like he kept having the puck hit at him all the time. He was just jumping over the thing constantly. I was like, damn. I was like, I wonder if Jack could do that. Like, because he was. I wonder if they were like
his face.
Just to his face. Yeah.
Just ask Jack's face if it can get another way.
Right here. Well, towards the end, I couldn't. I just was like, they used to call me magnet. It was like no matter what I did, I could not get out. It's like, I remember getting chewed up by a coach. This coach from UNC. He's probably about 100 years old. He was like the assistant coach. I guess he used to be like the head referee back in the 30s or whatever it was. I mean, he was that old. And so they're killing a penalty. The defenseman gets it. There's literally no one within 50 yards of him. I'm up against the boards because I'm a linesman. I got to stay out of the way of the referee. He winds up and literally just kills me with it. Just shoots a slap shot right at me. I go, Jesus, you had, what was it? 80 feet, whatever it is. I go, you literally had 79 feet and you hit it to the end. So the coach pulls me over and he's like yelling at me that I got in the way because the puck went back into the zone. And so that's like going, yeah, I was asking, hey, can you hit me with that puck?
Yeah.
I go, Coach, you know what's the golden rule when you have the puck? Look up. He never looked up. He just wound and shot.
I thought it was do unto others as you.
No, because if you don't look up, it's going to be do unto you, because you're going to get flattened. In fact, I taught a kid. I was teaching. It was this one kid would not keep his head up. I go, dude, if you don't get your head up, you're playing against your teammates right now. You're going to get rocked. You're going to get rocked. So I sent this kid. I said, hey, go hit him. And I thought he killed him. I just was like, holy crap. I said, but to be fair, these kids were like 6 or 7 years old.
No,
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But after that, he always kept his head up. So
he later developed a massive
CET, whatever it's called. Yeah, it probably.
And,
but that was to be fair, we didn't know about that. I did get.
He developed a massive toy problem.
Yeah. He was a cement head. What do you want? So
he was trapped in the 90s, not age beyond.
Actually, you wouldn't have to hit Jay if you're playing hockey. You just give him the puck and go take it. I've seen pylons move faster than Jay.
It's funny though. Like I don't have the athlete gene. I'm not raced when I don't run fast.
But you do. I have
really good hand-eye coordination. I do have really good hand-eye coordination. I do, but
you don't like to move.
No, I'm just. But but like and where I see this is in my own sons, where Zach very much has like my, speed, but like Alex has that
your form.
Well, yes, but like Alex has that graceful like stride where it's just like, versus Zach and I are like, kang, 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 kang. And it's just not.
Yeah, Alex is like a.
It's like a gazelle. He's like,
yeah. You're like you run like remember the Carol Burnett show, Mrs. O'Wiggins?
Yeah, I remember that because I watched that, when I was negative 20.
Well, come on, the older people out there remember Mrs. O'Wiggins. Remember how she used to walk with her butt sticking out like this? That's how.
Yeah.
Tim Conway was the boss.
Right.
Mrs. O'Wiggins, and she'd come
this is how you really appeal to the Zennials, Jack.
If you like Carol Burnett, there's a
Carol Burnett came after the Beatles.
There's a Muppet show that has Carol Burnett. She guests on it. It's really funny. I think it won an Emmy as well.
I realize, Jay, you don't like strong female women.
No, that's Nick. I think he gives the Carol Burnett show a negative.
Just because I didn't like the Disney trilogy does not mean I don't like strong female characters.
It's absolutely why you don't. Well,
I hate Ripley. I hate Rippy. I mean,
Ripley. You don't even know her name. You don't even know her name.
I said Ripley,
believe it or not.
Yeah. But yeah, I grew up with strong female characters. What are you talking about?
Jem.
Yeah.
Like she was a huge influence. We talked about She-Ra last
truly
week.
outrageous, though. Truly outrageous.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway,
I did pick up on the toy front. I did pick up an Uncle Gundy. I'm slowly but surely kind of going through.
What's an Uncle Gundy?
An Uncle Gundy is a figure from the Droids line, and it's
Star Wars.
That's a spendy.
Star Wars.
Mm-hmm. It is. So,
all right, John, the UPS man, you can go back and finish your basketball game. Go ahead.
Those pictures of those toys I sent you guys the other day.
I just wanted to mention it because Jay was on here. It happened today. My brother was at a toy shop and he texted me an image and I was like, "That's a good price."
What did you pay for it?
$100.
So you could have been at the Disney on Ice show and just bought one of their toys.
No. This was. I only have a few figures that I don't have left, and it normally goes for about $150 on eBay. I'd been watching it, and so I was trying to pick it up for lower. You know? Just
do you have R2 and C3PO? Those are the two I would want from the Droids line.
They're so expensive. I can't even justify those. I've seen a From, and
he's got a family to feed.
I know. I can't afford them. I don't have that kind of money to spend.
I looked up two of those toys that I sent you guys today. So for everyone out there, when I first
Nick's a hoarder.
Yeah, I am a hoarder, but Jay is too. But like when I first
organized, this isn't hoarding.
When I first started going to Comic-Con,
it is pretty organized. I'll give him that.
Organized hoarding.
I let up on it in the last years, but like one of the first probably 4 years of Comic-Con, I would buy out all the exclusives I could find, and just never open them because I was like, these are gonna be worth money. And one of them is the Black Series Boba Fett. It came with Han and Carbonite, which was like the special for that one. It's only at Comic-Con. And Matt had mentioned that his brother-in-law,
your brother,
bought it for $200, which is actually a good deal because like most of the time, the cheapest I've seen on eBay for is $250.
Yeah,
it goes up to $350. And then
Nick lost his internet.
Is this like every episode?
Toys R Us exclusive.
Oh yeah.
No.
It's okay. We accept it. It's a charm. It's a charming little aspect.
We learned how to speak Nick or Neck.
Oh, okay.
Yes, but the Toys R Us Republic Commandos or whatever it was, that was like a 4 or 5 little figures in there. That's $350 on eBay. I was like, damn.
When I grow up, I want to be a Toys R Us kid. Not anymore, kid.
Coming back. It actually is coming back now.
It's been in Canada the whole time. Like there's Canadian viewers on my live. I just got back from Toys R Us. I'm like, well, fuck you.
So there's Toys R Us in Canada?
Yeah. So whatever that split up was it Bain Capital bought out the US ones, but they didn't buy out the Canadian ones. So when all of them shut down, I think, except for the Canadian Toys R Us. So there's still Toys R Us in Canada.
Wait till Canada gets the internet, though.
But they don't have Targets really in Canada, so the Target exclusives in the US are usually still Toys R Us exclusives.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Did not know that.
Yeah.
The saddest meme during that period I saw was, the Toys R Us mascot standing there saying like, I guess y'all finally grew up. Like just talk about the tears, like, oh my god.
They changed his name to Joffrey. That's what they should have done.
That's like
free advertisement
when the guy from Blues Clues came out and was like,
damn, like just got heavy.
Yeah.
It's like a Disney movie.
Like a lot of gravity.
Yeah. I left, but you're okay. Look at where you're at now.
Yeah, right?
Like, damn, fucking Steve. It's Steve from Blue's Clues, right?
Australia still has Kmart.
There's still Kmart's in the U.S., just a couple of them, but yeah.
Yeah, they're around.
But they don't have the blue light special. Without the blue light special,
They still do. I think.
Yeah, you're looking for the red light special, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Have you guys ever been in a Kmart when the blue light special went down?
when I was a kid, yeah.
It was kind of weird. Like you were like, wait, what's going on? Like
We used to go to Kmart just to mess around. I think I said this before. We used to turn on because they'd have all those alarm clocks, the digital ones. We set them all for go off at a certain time.
I feel like this is more Back to the Future themed.
Yeah, well, That's why I'm going to hell.
Be exactly. Was it 20 minutes slow?
I thought it was. Yeah, it was like something. It wasn't a full hour.
Instead of putting it a day ahead of time, I'm just going to go 20 minutes. That should be plenty of time. If I make it, I make it. If you don't. But going a day ahead of time, yeah.
Damn, I'm late. Or does he say shit?
Just speaking of shopping, I wanted to, because I wrote it down, like a question to pose to you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any toy from your childhood that you wanted and you never got? Like that you can remember, like you wrote down your list. You wrote down your list to your parents, to Santa, and you wanted it, and you were so bad, and you never got it.
Yeah, the Star Wars AT-AT. So the all-terrain walker. I wanted that
mine
so
was a
bad.
Schwinn bike. It was a 5-speed Schwinn bike, but I ended up getting a bike. But it literally was a tank. It was a custom-made bike.
But you got it.
Yeah, but it wasn't a Schwinn 5-speed. It was literally this thing was
a shin. It was just a shin. It was
it's a shin.
Special.
But
I think I broke my mom with the Christmas wish that I had. I was like, oh, I really want this. And she's like, I'm Santa. Damn it. You can't do that to me. I was right there. I was gonna get the ad.
I had to do a few of those. Like this time, like Zach wanted there was this houseboat thing. I was like, Zach, you don't need that. You have like playhouses. You have a playground. No, Santa's not going to bring that.
I saw a video today that does kind of want to break your heart a little bit, and it's
Sherry never had
of a father and his probably 7-year-old son having a discussion about Santa Claus, and
should we say spoiler?
The kid gets smart though and just goes, Alexa, can reindeer fly? And then of course Alexa's like, no, reindeer can't fly. And he's like, I told you there's no such thing as Santa. And like the dad's like, Alexa's lying. Like,
this happened to my sister and my niece. Like I was visiting with her last weekend, and she
why
said,
wouldn't Alexa say yes?
No, it was the fact that my sister was relaying this story to me that her oldest daughter basically Googled it. Is Santa Claus real?
Oh shit.
And that's what she came to her daughter about. And man, kids Googling shit. Like, I'm like, dude, like you're gonna ruin yourself.
Google's usually cutesy with like some of their Google search stuff. They should do like a yes, Santa is real, like fake Wikipedia page or something.
I'm sure they have it.
You can log into your Google account and say like, I want the Santa is real setting. And then you just like set it.
There you go.
No, it's not for everybody, but if you're a parent and you want to make sure, like if they're looking, it'll keep up the Santa.
Or for someone like me, I'd like to believe.
My favorite thing is like when I heard was that when your kids get to that age where they start doubting it, is that like you say you're a parent and they're like, Dad, you're Santa. And I'm like, and then if they are fully related, say, yeah, we're all Santa. All of us are Santa. And now that you know that, you're Santa too.
Yeah, you make them a secret keeper.
Yeah, exactly. It's like because because the whole point is to give without expecting something in return. That's the whole point. And so it's like, so now, you can write down that you're Santa and give a gift to someone. And because that's the whole point, is to see the surprise in their face of not knowing who gave it to them, and it's the whole, it teaches them a lesson of like giving. So
that's what Jay's doing on this podcast. He's giving a little bit here.
Yep.
But then he's going to give a little bit somewhere else.
Speaking of which, I just got the dude, you coming? I'm like, yes. So I have to jump, my friends, but it was always good to hang out with you.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, is this it for till like January? So
till somewhere around the 10th or something. Yeah.
Probably.
Happy Christmas to all of you. Jack, I'll see you in like 2 days. But
and Merry New Year.
So Matt and Nick, happy Christmas if I don't see you before then, and Happy New Year.
Happy Christmas and
everybody in the chat. Merry Christmas. Take care. Bye, everybody.
Ho, ho, ho. And then there were 3.
Now my internet will be flawless from now on. Watch.
Nice.
Perfect.
No, I was going to say that bike could literally, the seat alone could fit 4 people comfortably.
Damn.
I'll get a picture. It literally was like the rims, this were actually metal. Not the little thing. You couldn't put like a card in there.
Little baseball cards, yeah.
No, not in that one. I mean, it was a big bike.
I forget, it was actually a really popular bike in the 80s. Like, it's not the chrome ones, but it was like it was a solid blue bike. And I remember like that was like ones that people wanted. And I only rode it for a couple of years. And I remember someone stole it out of the garage. I used to give it to my grandmother's because I would ride it to school. And I remember seeing the kid that stole it like a year later, like riding it around. And like, I wanted so bad to go, that's my bike. But I was like, he needs it more than I do. So
wow,
it was cool.
That was I would have been the kid that was like, oh, I don't know how your tires got slashed.
Yeah.
So Nick, did I miss it? What was your wish that you never got? Your Santa like toy or thing that you?
Yeah. So like this was actually told this story maybe last year before last. So it's one of the things I think is neat that my mom did is that, we had the Sears catalog or the Wish catalog, back in the 80s. And so just, you go through it, you'd circle what you wanted and all that. And Mom would always cut out all the things that I circled. And then she would make like a paper collage for every year, like to hang on the tree. So like 1988, Nick wanted this. And so I still got them, like everything that I wanted. So a lot of it's Transformers and G.I. Joes and all that. Mm-hmm. But in every single one of them, there's a drum set in there. And I never got a drum set. And from now as I'm older, seeing it from my parents' point of view, I totally get why they never got me a drum set. But it's like, it's the in there in every one of them, a drum set. Like I never got a drum set.
They're loud.
Yeah.
My son my son is in percussion for band, and so he has been drumming, and it was neat seeing the holiday performance or whatever they had like last week, seeing him drum and seeing him actually get to do his thing, and keeping the beat, because it's an important thing. It's the backbone of the whole thing, if the beat's off, like lots of kids are off.
That thing
like
you
domino effect.
Change
so yeah,
it's too fast. It's a
slow down song. No, it's good.
But anyway, yeah, it's one of those things that for sure as a parent you're like, okay, I really like that you're into music, but this drumming thing.
We had Jay with a guitar, and then my oldest daughter was into drums for a while, and my dad bought her a drum set. We lived in a condo in California. I'm like still going, oh my God, this is ridiculous. Anyway. I'm not a big drum fan either.
In the chat here, just to catch those listening up to speed, Sherry had said, my son asked me if Santa was real. I was contemplating my answer. Renee said, Mom, don't make me look like a fool in front of my friends. Please tell me the truth. So I did. So, she put Renee when he, so Renee is not. But it says, I was contemplating my answer when he said, Mom, don't.
Because I was like, who's Renee?
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay, that's a good.
I know she was in France for a while. So
well, Renee could be a guy's name. So.
No, but France is that's a French name, right?
Yeah, I would think so. For
Ryan, was it Sherry?
Renee Ryan, is that what that translates to?
I thought she spent time in France. I could be wrong.
And then Matt Treist also comments, someone I heard on the radio, Alexa ratted her out for what she was getting her kids for Christmas because they asked it.
Oh,
damn. I'm glad our Google isn't connected to Amazon. So.
See, I'd have to worry about that. It was my kids were kids.
And I do have a question for Kim in the chat. She mentions that Sherry had mentioned earlier that she never had a Barbie. And Kim had said, I did have a few Dawns, though. What are Dawns? Is that like the GoBots of Barbie?
Tony Orlando?
And
Dawn?
No, like GoBots to Transformers, like
Tony
like Dawns to...
That's what I assume.
I don't know what this Tony Orlando thing is. Dawn.
Yeah, Sherry also mentions that she was a drummer. I too, like I was gonna say that too, Matt. Like I never got my drum set, but I did join the percussion section in the concert band because I played football in the fall, so I wasn't in a marching band. But you have to do something in the springtime for that credit in our house. So I was in the concert band, so I learned percussion. I still can't read music, but I did learn how to drum.
My
first, don't really need to learn to read music to play percussion, which is interesting.
Yeah, that is kind of interesting.
I don't think it's just music.
Yeah,
it was one thing that my son was kind of frustrated with because all these other kids were learning notes and he wanted to learn notes. So I was like, "Here's a keyboard, figure it out." No, actually, he broke out one of the guitars that we have, and he was kind of strumming through those and kind of pulling down and figuring out the notes. So. And I was just going to mention that my first girlfriend was a drummer, and so it was constant like tapping, tapping.
Chat.
What?
I saw that in the chat.
Yeah, I know, but I was just sharing with the.
No, but it's like almost like I could tell the future.
You could tell the future. Well, we dated for a very long time, so I'd been to a lot of performances and a lot of. You kind of put up with drummers drumming on you. You just get used to it, or they're not for you. Like life with the drummer is like you accept that they're always tapping, rapping, or bouncing something. You just have to get over it. Not on this show.
And what's weird is like there's a muscle like right here on your arm that's like it's like a real round one, and then it just becomes like this bulge, like from just doing this all the time, and like it develops this weird muscle, and you're like.
Note that Nick is pointing to the middle of his forearm, just randomly, not even close to any other. I'm just joking. I don't know. I was just thinking.
And those weren't drums.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. Were they?
Those were drums.
He's doing something with his hand, but it doesn't look like a drummer.
You know what he's doing with his hands? He's drumming us to a commercial break.
Ooh, nice one, Matt.
So, what TV have you guys been watching this last week?
I've just been watching
up on Yellowstone. Oh, go ahead, Nick.
Oh, no, it's fine. We can talk Yellowstone. I haven't watched Yellowstone, but go ahead.
Have you ever seen it?
My parents made me watch the first episode of the third season. And they were like, "You're going to really like this show." I was like, "You can't start someone on the third fucking season. What the hell?"
No.
And
you have to start from the beginning.
That's the thing is that, like, you can't, unless you have Paramount, I think. I don't even know if you pay these on Paramount.
No.
Like, you can't watch the first season anywhere unless you pay
No,
for it.
I think if you pay for Peacock, the first 3 seasons are on there.
What, it doesn't go beyond that?
That's it. Peacock.
No,
yeah.
because then you had to watch it each week live on Paramount Plus.
Oh,
we didn't do. We had Paramount Plus, so then we're trying all these different things. Finally, Cindy just paid for it on iTunes. It was $20 for this season.
You know what? I've done that before. It's just cheaper. It's just easier.
We couldn't fix because Peacock's not till March 22nd. I'm like going, what the hell? And then they got the prequel. They got the prequel coming in 1883.
Mm-hmm.
And then
I thought it was 1835.
No, it's 1883.
1883 was a good year.
They do have Civil War stuff because I've seen some of the previews. Anyway.
Oh, okay.
So,
but the Civil War wasn't in 1883.
I know it's probably a flashback.
Oh, okay.
Did you ever watch Lost?
No, I was Michael Keaton in it?
Yeah, he should have been.
Okay.
They were dead the whole
think?
time.
Okay, what do you think?
I'm dead man.
You think Michael Keaton should have been in it?
I don't know. I didn't read the article.
Okay.
I saw it, but I said,
I don't know about that.
Anyway,
they might have been more likely to kill him off if he was Jack, though, because then they wouldn't have to pay for him the rest of this.
Yeah, especially a name like Jack.
Did you guys know that John, the UPS guy, actually started on the Pony Express? No.
I believe
Yeah.
Yeah. With his first girlfriend?
Yeah.
You gonna drag her into this too?
Wagon hole, let's go.
Apparently, his first girlfriend was his wife, or no, his first mistress became his wife.
So John must be caught up because he says Jimmy on Yellowstone experienced his first. Yeah, he jacks off a horse.
What? Huh?
Jacks off a
I
horse.
didn't realize Yellowstone.
I'd say, hey,
racist.
bring in the stuntman. Bring in the stuntman.
Like,
I'll jump off the barn, but I'm not grabbing the horse.
It's like
Because first you're gonna be jealous.
one of the most underrated comedies that no one really talks about much is Kingpin, with Woody Harrelson and Randy Quaid. And I love that because there's that scene, where he's trying to blend in with the Amish people and he comes running up with the bucket. He's like, I milked you guys' cow this morning. He's like, sure took a long time to get her warmed up. Then all of a sudden, just boom, it all in one load. And the guy looks at him, he's like, we don't have a cow. We got a bull.
And he has
he's been drinking the milk. Yeah.
Okay, anyway, let me finish Yellowstone before I forget. I was watching John mentioned Jimmy. There's a character. He gets sent to another ranch, the 666 Ranch, but that's going to be a spinoff. I'm like going. So basically, this season they've had a lot of. It's been good, but there's a lot of pushing for the other shows. Anyway, and I don't think Jimmy's a strong enough character to carry the show. But what do I know? I didn't think Better Call Saul was going to be a good idea. I mean, I know people. You're not going to believe this. I know people that have actually only watched Better Call Saul and not Breaking Bad.
Wow,
it's ridiculous. But what are you going to do? I wouldn't call them an idiot. I mean, not to their
maybe
face.
a cement head. Yeah,
cement head. Yeah. So stubborn. Anyway.
Yeah. So I've been binging. I mentioned it before, like Peaky Blinders, which a lot of people had recommended that to me, and I thought actually it was done. I thought the whole series was done. It's like, and the next season's coming out next year, and I'm like, there's another season. I'm like, okay,
yeah,
I'm happy.
This last season,
but yeah, I'm halfway through season 5 right now, so I'm almost completely caught up. And
you leave the captions on.
Yeah, so my Netflix, I got into the habit with Disney Plus, especially with like any Star Wars things, is putting the captions on. And so my Netflix account and Disney Plus, I always have closed captioning on because there's always background stuff that you can read, and and it gives you a little bit more detail. So I do it with the captions on. Yeah,
anytime Cindy and I watch a British show, and they got the thick Cockney accents. I can't understand what they're saying. I don't know who these people are. I know they're my relatives, but I can't listen to them. I don't understand them.
But I do like Peaky Blinders. The thing is, if you do your historical research on it, it's like the show is nothing like what really happened, and you're like, oh, okay, because Billy Kimber, who's like the bad guy in season 1, his gang is actually the one that took them over, and like, oh, so you killed the actual true person who actually beat the Peaky Blinders in season 1. But
you got to do what you got to do, right?
You got to do what you got to do.
Well, it's like Netflix Mexico. Cool. I'm not Netflix Mexico. Narcos Mexico.
I knew what you were meaning, but I also like to think of that there being a Netflix Mexico.
Well, isn't there Netflix Canada? There's Netflix. Countries.
No, so I'm following you.
You're saying Mexico can't have one? We're going down this road again?
Not at all. Not at all.
All right, John, you UPS man, you heard him. Anyway.
Oh my God.
So, but there's a character on there. I know he doesn't die because he takes over. But they have so many scenes where they're trying to kill him, and you're like going, it's pretty intense. But you're like going, okay, but I know he doesn't die. Anyway, go ahead.
I think that can only work so many times until it just becomes like, okay, this is a little Like this
Well, I
person
guess
is
they're-
bulletproof or something.
Well, they're
like
trying
that.
to show, I think, how many times this dude could have died. I mean, anyway.
It's funny because I remember watching Infinity War with my family. My son and I, we'd watched all of the Marvel movies, right? But my wife and my daughter, they hadn't really watched everything in order, and so we were kind of going back and watching some of those movies. And it's funny because there's this moment in Infinity War where they almost stop Thanos, and they're like, it's funny to watch them because they were Thanos. They're almost ready to
you
stop
said Spanos.
No. That's your Infinity War. Because no matter what, he's still going to snap the glove, and they're still going to move to LA, and you're still going to be fine.
Not if I had superpowers, it wouldn't.
Oh, yeah. You could bring them back to
like
San
Darth
Diego.
Vader.
If you had the gauntlet, you'd bring them back to San Diego, but they would still have those 3.
If I had the money,
years.
I would.
Anyway, I just thought it was funny
because
my family was like watching those scenes in Infinity War, and they're like, I can't believe how close they were. And you're like, yeah, they got really close, and then Quinn fucked it up.
Because you know what's going to happen.
It's the way the script was written.
It's fine. It's fine. They all had their part to play. You
got to be negative. You got to pick everything apart.
Look, he was emotionally going through a lot.
You're going to rub off on Nick, and it's not going to work.
Exactly. I like to stay positive. I like to see the good, and then Matt's over here bringing it down.
No. I just was.
He's going to rub off on you, Nick, and then people are going to call you Nitpick or whatever some name like that.
The Nick Pick.
Mike wants us to talk about the Beatles documentary right
now. I haven't finished the other two. So I told Cindy I watched the first one, and she goes, "Hey, why don't we watch the Beatles documentary?" I go, "Okay." She goes, "What?" I go, "Well, I watched the first. Well, I was waiting for you." I go, "When have you ever waited for?" And she doesn't even. I have the Beatles channel exit. She goes, "I don't want to listen to the Beatles," so she wouldn't have liked the.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's when we finally found. I think we finally found Yellowstone or whatever it was. I go, "This is ridiculous. TV should not be this hard. They make it a challenge."
Oh yeah, like watching like the whole streaming service wars.
Yeah, it's like okay, it's just
just wait. Just
so
wait
much
till it
easier
comes
when it was free.
Just wait till it comes full circle to where it's like someone's going to bundle everything together. We're going to charge you $120 a month for everything.
No, it'll be $65.
Yeah, and then everything just slowly creeps up. Like, oh yeah, next year, like we have another $5 tax increase. Right?
Just right about what the monthly of cable was, $65. It'll be that. Right. It'll be that mark.
Because these are like almost the .com booms, right? We had in the '80s where all these .com companies came out, and they're.
You mean the '90s?
Was it the '90s?
Yeah, the .com boom was like '96 to like '98.
Okay, but anyway, you had all those companies. I remember my dad saying, "I said, should I invest in these companies?" He goes, "None of them are making money." He goes, "None of them. Their stock is going up, but none of them are really making. They're not showing up. Of course, that's what companies do. But you had all those. Just before 92? Whenever they collapsed, right? It was like boom. 90, or 90 was 99? 99.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. It just seems like years ago. But anyway, that's right. Clinton was in office when they.
Yeah, Clinton. Yeah.
So
like the 2 years. The 2 years that we had a surplus in the deficit was because of the .com boom.
Oh yeah.
Fast forward though, cryptocurrency. Do you invest in it or do you not?
I haven't invested in it in a long time. I did like 4 years ago when it was still cheap, and so now I'm all profit. But it's one of those things like I would say yes. I mean, hell, even if you put like $50 every paycheck towards it, you're probably still going to make money off of it for now. But it's just, but you've missed the window to where like
shit, we missed
a coin
Nick's
or whatever. And
he gave us the best stock advice in the world, and that we didn't hear it.
Sorry.
Here's the tip of the day. This is you should put all your money, sell your house. Can you believe it? There you go.
It was like there was a funny thing that one of our listeners, Eric, had shared on Facebook. I don't know if you guys saw it, about how he got like 3-cent gas or something like that.
Yeah. Somebody messed up on the computer. Yeah.
It's a total word. Well, the point of it is you read through it and you get to the read more because he says where he bought it at the intersection.
Oh, funny.
And you try to click on that read more and you're like, I see what you did there. Thanks. Mm-hmm. So it's very, very
It's
funny.
like that picture I sent you guys the other day of the guy walking across the pool and the 2 bucket legs. You know, so it's like click to see how many times the dummy, you know. And then
so I can't. I still have those green lines on my phone, so I either see them.
Just now saw that John changed his name to John the Mexican UPS guy. I think that's inappropriate. So I don't mean to tell you what to do.
All those things are facts. His name is John. He is Mexican, and he is a UPS guy.
So there. Stop trying to change people.
I can't disprove them. You know who's not with us tonight live in the chat? And I believe he said that he was going to be flying somewhere.
He's flying.
Yeah.
Hey, can I ask a question? What was the point I was making about the .com companies? Because I
don't know. It was something about dishwashers.
I never remember anything we talked about.
Randy writes in. Let me just do Randy's thing because he's probably flying right over my.
Oh, it's an email.
Yeah. He wrote in an email. Randy writes in. He says, "Christmas in the RCAD. Matt should understand this one. What does an angry sheep say on Christmas?"
Let go of me.
No, bah, humbug.
Humbug.
Yeah, there we go. Thanks, Randy, for doing what you don't do, showing up on this podcast.
I mean, Jack, you know, like half the stuff we talk about, because we can go into so many segues.
I know.
Like, I don't remember, like, because like there was a line from this episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm, which I just thought was hilarious. And something you guys said a few minutes ago where I don't remember what it was, but I was like, why did I think of that? And now I'm like, well, it doesn't make sense to talk about it now because I don't remember what the context was to bring it up.
But that's what I was thinking. I go, wait a minute, why was I on the .com shit? And I go, there was a point I was trying to make, and I can't remember what I was talking about. But at least it's not. At least it's not just me because I know I'm getting older. I'm getting to that thing where I'm starting to go, okay, am I? So
am I?
But it was fun. Like you guys remember the episode of Friends where Joey's reading The Shining and Rachel's reading Little Women, and both of them are ignorant to what the books are, and Joey's like, so these little women, just how little are they? Like, are they like spooky? You know, like, you know. And so that's kind of like a joke. It's about Little Women on this with Curb Enthusiasm, where I thought it was hilarious because a woman is talking to Larry about Little Women. He's like, I hate Little Women because he's like, I just don't like the March sisters. He goes, they're all too perfect. They're all like, oh, I have to be an actor and I have to do this and blah, blah, blah. You know, very later, of course, and then she takes offense to it. And then later on, there's another scene where his roommate, you know, like she's talking to him. He's like, why did you have to insult Little Women? He's like, I don't like the March family, you know, like this. And then she looks at this other guy. She's like, do you like Little Women? He's like, oh, fuck yeah. He goes, but I call them dwarves or midgets. And then if you stack two of them on top of each other, you got a full-size woman. And you're just like, what the fuck? You know, like, it's I mean, just how you can misinterpret what someone is talking about by the title of that book. But it was comedic gold for that scene. But
it's always gold. I was watching a Seinfeld episode, and George, he's supposed to be based on Larry David.
There's some things in the chat going on. So John writes in and says, Matt wants a 5-foot fence, Nick. Then Mike said Nick was going to talk about trying to get a 5-foot fence removed from his pool.
So, you know how in Curb, there's always something very small that's the whole thread of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, in this season, there's a lot of stuff going on, like there always is.
The last season was Mocha Joe.
Right.
Yeah.
Joe, yeah. This season, so he had a burglar break into his home, and the burglar dies because he drowns in Larry's pool, and the brother of
he probably gets sued.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so the brother of
really.
Oh shit!
The burglar.
The burglar.
The burglar.
Sorry. So the brother of the thief, the brother, the brother of the thief finds out that Larry does not have a 5-foot fence around the pool.
Now his lips
which is by Santa. Oh, the law in Santa Monica is that you have to have a 5-foot fence around your pool for safety, and so it's the whole thing. So now he's trying to get the law changed to where he doesn't have to have the fence, and so that's the whole point. Anyway.
But that's what he's brilliant at.
Mm-hmm.
He takes some absurd thing, which would be true.
Yeah,
I'm sure that. Yeah, well, you didn't.
There's definitely been things like that.
Yeah, my brother died because
I totally Mike nailed it. I
That's
totally
a solid lead wall.
I totally get Larry David though. I am Larry David. Like I think a lot of people are. It's like, just
I got a little Larry in me.
I thought Jack was. I mean, he's more bald.
earlier I think Sherry mentioned Matt about your hat. Where is the ball at the end of your hat?
Yeah, I was wondering that too.
There's no ball.
I bet you his cat took it.
Matt has no balls.
No, I don't have this ball.
Oh.
It hasn't dropped
That's a rumor
yet.
out there. Got a lot of ball there.
It's so I'm missing the fuzzy ball on the hat. So, but
You ever heard of Manscaped?
I decided to wear this Santa Claus hat here just to kind of.
That's got to be the episode
spice
title,
it
right?
up.
I'm missing my fuzzy ball.
You guys and your titles.
I never give the title.
I
gave the title last week. That was like a first.
Yeah, I did love how
I don't think I've
someone
ever
did
done
notice that and said, like, I love the refrigerator story or whatever it was called.
The dishwasher.
The dishwasher story, yeah.
It was Randy. I think Randy said it.
Yeah. Poor Randy. So John suggests new Peacock show called Young Jack. So maybe in the show Young Jack, the ongoing joke is that he is completely always hurting himself to the point where you're like, oh, this is how he got that way.
We had a dishwasher growing up. His name was Jack. I'm saying as a kid, we didn't I was a remote control.
Is this the dishwasher story?
Yeah, no, the dishwasher. I'm not
Come
saying
gather around, kids.
I'm gonna save the dishwasher story for another day.
Oh.
After the first of the year.
Chris has to be present so he can.
Yeah,
Oh wait, Chris isn't here?
Yeah.
I thought he was just looking up like facts about like the thing that we were talking about. Anyway, I hate to pick on Chris.
Who brought up Young Sheldon? Oh, I got you because we're talking about Young Jack. Yeah.
Really? You hate Young Sheldon?
I hate Sheldon, period. If I met Sheldon in life, I'd punch him in the face.
I actually like Young Sheldon more than Big Bang Theory. So, because it's more akin to like, I don't know.
There's no laugh track.
There's no laugh track, and I enjoy it. I think it's a better Goldbergs, basically. It hits all of the things that the Goldbergs does, but without having a fucking song and a, oh, hey, we always yell at each other kind of moment.
But we love each other at the end.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's more going on, and I like Annie Potts, so I think her character brings a lot. Or
she was
just
great in
her.
Ghostbusters.
Was she in the new one?
Oh wait, spoiler.
Oh yeah, okay. She had a little cameo. She has a very small cameo in the very early
spoilers.
What were you talking about? That's it. I just fucked up my own train of thought.
We were talking about Christmas, the holidays, the New Year's, what you guys are gonna do over the. You guys got anything special planned? Nick, you're going back home, right?
Yep, leaving Friday.
I'm coming home.
Spend about 4 or 5 days in my parents' hometown, and then the rest of the time in Knoxville. But
getting knocked up.
Well, yeah,
Are you going to Fort Knox?
Fort Knox? No, it's for tourists. It's a diehard joke.
They give you from free gold. It's Christmas time.
He doesn't really want to talk about the girl he's going to go see, but we all know.
I'm sure she was.
What the fuck was I going to talk about?
Yeah.
Sorry, Jack. I interrupted you.
No,
I interrupted myself.
Ironic, isn't it?
Yes.
It's like you were visited by the ghost.
I can see how frustrating that would be.
It's a Christmas miracle.
Man, I'm a dick. But it's worse when I interrupt myself.
We're all dicks at some point. Just trying to.
Oh, Goldbergs! Thank you, Kim.
Yes, Goldbergs. Mm-hmm.
I hadn't watched it in like 3 years. I used to watch that show religiously. It's Wednesday night, Tuesday night, whatever it's on. I would watch it, and literally watched it. My wife says, "Oh, let me watch this," because the kids are, how big they are and stuff like that now. Well, Adam is.
They're all freakishly old.
I go, yeah. The dad got old, and I was like going. I go. It's been 3 years. It's the same fucking plot.
I think the actor that's
love you, I
on there
love
that
you.
plays the dad is on
Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Curb Your Enthusiasm. And I can't think of the actor's name, but I swear this last season, he's basically been like, fuck it, I hate this show too. I'm growing out a beard. Like he's just like, I'll just wear whatever I want. I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, I go, God, I go, again, I used to love the show.
Kim doesn't like any shows that take place during the 1980s. Well, if you don't like that, check out the New Wonder Years, which still takes place in the 60s, but from a different viewpoint. And I've also enjoyed that show. It has some heartwarming moments and some really kind of funny things that I think, yeah.
I saw a meme the other day that it really did sum up the 80s. Like when people, it's kind of like the 60s. Like people have this image of the 60s. They think, oh, it's all like long hair and tie dye and peace symbols and all shit. It's like, no, not really. And
Not
it's like
Vietnam.
Yeah, and then it's like when people who did not live in the 80s think of the 80s, they think of like all these really rad colors and triangles and weird shit. It's like, no, I grew up in the 80s where everything was fucking brown. It's like that's what the 80s was. It's like,
oh, now you're against the UPS guy.
No, you're right, Nick.
I mean, UPS.
I think every decade is basically a shadow of the previous decade's trends. You know, so like all of the trends of the 60s play out in the 70s, and all of the trends of the 70s.
Yeah,
play
I
out
know
in the
people
80s
who used to just glamorize the late 20s and the early 30s. Those were great times to live in.
Right.
not if you like it.
No, I
saw the Waltons.
I knew someone I worked with for several years.
House, no money, they had a big fucking house.
He absolutely loved and adored the 50s. He said that was the best time to be alive. And I'm like,
you're a white male.
Well, yeah, he was a white male, but I was like, you were also, he's also gay. And I'm like, you had to live through some harsh times, but yet you still think that was the best time to be alive.
Well, I mean, from an economic standpoint, it is an interesting time, but it's also scary too in some ways. And like you have, the Red Scare and all this other weird shit that's going on. And there's no perfect time. I mean, people are delusional who think that like, this was the best. It's like, not really. I can't think of any decade.
The Roaring 20s.
It's good for if you had the money to blow until it all came crashing down.
So fucking loud though. So loud. No wonder people went into a depression.
That jazz music. Yeah,
all of the roaring that was going on.
They lost their fuzzy ball.
You're like, oh.
Can't drink in the 20s though. That's what would piss me off. So.
Oh, you could drink in the 20s.
No wonder everybody.
Bathtub gin. Yeah.
Just like people can smoke pot. Mike points out Jeff Garlin is the actor that I was thinking.
Oh yes.
So Mike thinks yes.
Yeah, he's one of those guys you look at and go, he's been in so much, like Curb Your Enthusiasm and the Goldberg, a lot of stuff, and you go
a lot of movies.
I always think
how many people go Jeff Garlin, the guy that looks like the sports guy, Mike Golick. Let's see. Anyway, that's who he looked at.
I when I think of him, I think of Daddy Daycare. I don't know why. It's just maybe I associate him.
Yeah. Interesting. Daddy Daycare.
I saw him in something too. It was
he pops up in so many different movies, and after you've seen him in something, it's like you always see him. You go back to older stuff, and you're like, oh, hey, that's him.
That's the guy. That's an actor.
That's a guy. That's
a guy. That's a guy.
I didn't mention. I meant to mention it. I think last week. A movie I watched, which I think it's either an Amazon or a Netflix movie, called 8-Bit Christmas.
Yes,
it's a cute little film. It's
you
a bit of that. Yeah, it's a bit of a Christmas Story ripoff, but it is a cute film worth watching.
I don't feel like it's a ripoff. I feel it's an homage in some ways.
Is that one with the heavyset kid?
No. Yeah. Would we call him heavy?
Well, I'm just saying he was. Yeah, I would say it. Well, I can't say what I would say in the 80s because the 80s were better times.
But I'm just saying, like, I didn't feel like it was a ripoff in a bad way. I just felt like
that's
it was kind of more of like I felt like it was giving a complete nod to it, but making it better because there's certain things that are completely changed.
It's kind of an updated version of a Christmas Story. Yeah.
They threw in a few things there that was kind of like they were trying to make it like, you're gonna poke your eye out, like the whole with the video game. But a fun family movie though is the 8-Bit Christmas. So if you have HBO Max, as Nick mentioned, like
HBO Max, yeah. You said that, yeah. I didn't say that.
I gotta check it out. If Miami Mike likes it, he hates everything.
Mike said that it's like an updated Christmas story.
Yeah, that's what. Because instead of a BB gun, it's an original Nintendo. And that's what
I was thinking. Home Alone. What did I get?
I don't know, man. You're on a different planet tonight. It's not even Christmas planet. There are some other things that like come into play though, and I guess maybe it's just like how they portray the bully, and that kid that like gets to kind of pick kids to come in and play. So there's some funny things, and they definitely do some kind of over the top 80s nostalgia. So probably not the movie for Kim, since she's so down in the 80s.
Especially it's based in the 80s, yeah.
I mean, they did definitely nail the, because the kid who's the rich kid, when he gets the Nintendo glove, it just cracked me up. It's like, anyone that ever had or saw or used a Nintendo glove knew that it sucked. And so that's what, this kid's the rich kid who always has to win everything. And so when he gets the glove, he has the kids over so he can kick their ass. He's just losing because the glove sucks so much. And you're like, yes, it sucked.
Because the 80s sucked.
I don't think they sucked completely. Do you?
I enjoyed the 80s. I had great hair.
How is it that Jeff Garmin has not done a commercial for Garmin? You know what I mean? Like it should be like a Garmin on Garmin kind of thing. Like, come on, Hollywood. You're missing out on some prize like things. I mean,
it's Garland, not Garmin.
But is he commercial worthy? Because on Curb Your Enthusiasm plays a bit of a he's a jerk. He's more of a jerk than Larry, I think.
Well, look who he's married to on the show.
Oh my gosh!
True. That's true.
Kim's just chiming in on all of the things that she loves about Curb. So she loves Susie Essman. Essman? Is that how you pronounce it? Yeah.
Essman. She's the screamer, right? She's
Eastman.
Susie, right?
Susie.
You love my soul. I like how she's always going after Larry Tate. It's so funny. Oh, when she's really mad, they got that music.
I think the thing with her character though is like for the show, you have to have someone that just is like always after Larry, the foil, the Newman, you know what I mean? Like I don't know. She's the perfect foil in a lot of ways on the show for him. So
I like the season they were bugging. He wasn't working. His wife was trying to get him to work. Everyone's trying to get him to work. He goes, I don't really have to work. I go, I want to pick something I want to do. And I think it was the season before they did the Seinfeld reunion. And the only reason he did it was to get her back, his wife. And then George became, Anyway.
Yeah. I've watched a couple of different Christmas movies recently, just like going back to, you're just kind of going through classics or movies that you always watch every year. You guys ever watch Last Holiday? I think is what it's called.
That's the one with Queen Latifah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And LL Cool J's in it, I think too. So,
where basically the whole
she is misdiagnosed as to having a terminal illness.
Yeah, and that the movie, that I get the premise of it, but it's also one of those things like fucking cha-ching. I mean, talk about lawsuit later, but that's really what the movie should have been about. It's like,
that's how I'd be thinking too. It's like, God, how much money could they make if they, God, everything you go through, right, Nick? Right, Nick?
Right.
We miss Chris tonight. He would be busting our balls and my balls.
But that dog movie got nominated for stuff.
What dog movie?
Power of the Dog.
Power of the Dog compels.
The one with Benedict Cumberbatch.
Oh yeah, the Cumberbatch. The Dr. Strange.
I mean, I get it. I really get it. I get why it's award worthy, but it literally is pulling teeth. It's one of the most boring movies I've ever watched in my life.
I told you, if you played that, if I had to watch that again, I'd give you all the secrets of the world. It'd be like torture.
I mean, like I said, I don't recommend it, but it's one of those movies that you have to pay attention. There's only really 4 characters in it, and
if you like being bored,
it gives you clues.
So it's like this podcast.
Yeah, it gives you, but it gives you clues about each of the characters' motivations slowly throughout the movie. There is 0 plot. There is no plot to the movie whatsoever.
It is you were describing this podcast. I don't know how you're like convincing the listeners. We dropped
it's a podcast about nothing. About nothing.
What'd you do today? That's a podcast.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that is a podcast.
Power of Dog Coin.
The only plot that I could even think of, honestly, about Power of the Dog is that it's about one character's goal to accumulate enough money or power to fulfill their dreams. That's the only thing that you can surmise from this film. And once you understand the ending of it, you can draw that conclusion. But as I'm saying, the movie leaves you open and there's no plot to it. So it's one of those that you have to think about and go like, well, okay, what's it about?
Yeah, I gave about this much time, said, fuck it, I don't care.
We've already talked about it way too much.
Mm.
No, okay. Is there any other what?
I'm reading the chat because my mic's on a roll today.
Ramblecast, a show where the hosts don't know what they talked about 5 minutes ago.
It's so true. And I know
it's not a lie.
I know it happens to you guys too, because there's definitely people that reach out to me, or give me a message or message on Facebook, and it's like, you guys remember this? I'm like, no, I don't. I don't remember anything. I was like, you know how much beer I drink on every podcast? I don't remember shit.
Now, the Married Man,
lucid.
originally, I used to listen to again because people would constantly do that.
I will actually sometimes go back and I will listen to us talk just to see like what I missed. You know, like, oh yeah, I wasn't paying attention to Nick.
The country of Mexico.
You know, I wasn't paying attention to.
Yeah, back when I was living in Los Angeles, I would do that because I had time to listen to podcasts then, and I would re-listen to us. I'm like, oh wow, like Matt made a really great point there, and I totally missed it. You know, like you pick up on shit that
you don't save that.
What, Jack?
You should have saved that and put a clip so we'd.
Why is the printer going? My printer's going all of a sudden.
Oh, by the way, I'm not sure, Jack.
Are you at work?
No, I'm at home.
Oh.
See, the tree's up. Fire?
Yeah, that's true. What was I thinking?
So, Jack, I don't know if you got one. You probably did. It's Christmas card season, and I got one in the mail the other day from someone in Indiana, and I was really happy.
Mine was from Mike Pence, I think.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, that was nice of him. I got one. I was really happy to get it, but I was really displeased because it was not printed on dolphin paper.
I know.
And
that was my thing.
It was just kind of like, oh, it's just a typical card. I was really expecting to smell, the dolphin skin, and just it wasn't there.
I thought I'd get the blowhole in the.
Yeah, exactly, the special part.
Yeah, oh, this is my favorite card.
Yeah.
Well, usually we take family photos kind of in the fall, and then we choose like the best one to throw on the card. But this year, not feeling it, we didn't do a family photo kind of shoot, and so we were actually just at we were at the zoo, and they had this cool kind of light display thing, and
I thought it was pretty cool.
I asked the guy behind me in line, like, can you take our picture?
I was wondering if you were using the green screen.
No. That would be just done in front of that. Like, everybody got around the green screen.
I'll remember that next time.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny. My wife the other day, I'm just like going, "Hey, when do I need to go get stamps?" She goes, "Stamps for what?" I go, "The card." She goes, "Oh my god!" Because she's been so busy, she didn't order any.
I think my wife was like, "Why do we even do cards? We shouldn't even do cards this year." I was like, why not?
No.
So
I would do them if I had a family. Because if it's just me on a card, it'd be kind of sad.
She usually does all the kids and grandkids and stuff like that. And I go,
well, Nick's card would be like all the places he's traveled.
Yeah, it's true. Or I did make one year. It was me sitting with a bottle of Jack Daniels on the couch by myself because just to be funny. Because I was at that point, it was getting them from all my friends that recently got married. It was all like the cute shit, like here's me and my husband with our cat, and I'm like, fuck you.
What about the people that send the letter? You okay with the letters people send?
What do you mean?
What, they recap their year?
Oh, right.
Oh no.
I figured
it's never bad news. It's like, come on, once in a while you want to see something bad.
Oh, I get that from my students. Like my students, there's always something bad that's happened to my students. Like that's the only reason I know that they're there is that like something bad, like they're either sick, they dealt with depression, any number. And I'm not putting them down. I mean, like I'm sure it's not easy, but I got a lot of excuses. But
how's the COVID thing going at your school?
What's up?
How's COVID going at your school?
Well, my school is officially done for the year, so I am like Monday.
But how was it? All right.
It's been doing fine. So
you mean the academic year or just this year? You
mean the last couple of months? Because
from what I know, and from the from the teachers that I work with, or even from I don't have a real good gauge on the students and how often the students are actually being tested, or if they are actually sick from COVID, or if they're just sick from a common cold. I have no clue as to that. But as far as like, just the other faculty members and the people that I know at that level, we've all been healthy. We were all vaccinated. Our school, mandated that we were all vaccinated to go back in person, and we've stayed masked in classes and haven't had any outbreaks that seem to have transpired in the school system itself. Everything else is, outside of the school system itself. So that feels like, I don't know, at least from an education standpoint, it feels like it's a safe place, or it's a safe space to be at, to learn, to
Well, sports is going. I mean, look at the NFL today. If 40 players were on, or more have been put on COVID protocol.
Well, I know my kids' schools have just been. I mean, I get a notification just every day now that like another kid's tested positive at my son was kind of at the cusp there where he couldn't get the vaccination shot. And then when I got boosted, he got his first shot, and then he followed up with his second. So he's actually vaccinated now. But he also, I don't know, he's also been masking the entire time he's been in school. So I don't know if that makes him unpopular. But
it's an option.
It's optional at their school. Yeah. And of course, many of them aren't vaccinated at that school anyway. So it's like, it's kind of no surprise that like the numbers or the notifications that we get. So,
I mean, at this point, I think it's just I forget who said it the other day. It's like, well, it's probably just better if it at some point, all of us get COVID, I mean, It might be weaker at that point, but it's like, it's just like we're all going to get some form of it at some point.
But that's kind of what happened.
I'm holding out.
That's what happened with the Spanish flu, though. Was that, I mean, eventually everybody got it, so it ran its course.
I did.
So.
I put a wall around it.
You remember back then, don't you?
But the vaccines have obviously helped from people getting it, to a severe case. So, and the fact that the deaths can go down from having preventative medicine, is really, it's really an amazing feat of science. I mean, we focus on kind of like all of these negative things or these bad things that have happened, but like how quickly we've had a vaccine, how quickly they've been able to, especially in where we're at in America, like the amount of access that we have to vaccines in our country compared to any other country in the world right now is pretty high. So
we're gonna get high.
Well, I mean, whether or not we're taking it or whether or not we're
the option
using
there.
it, but the option to have it or the access to it is much higher than most. So
Matt, I think you should pause there.
Why?
and recognize that Jack just sang a Paul McCartney B-side. I didn't even think Jack knew that song.
No, because every time I hear that, I break out into that song.
We're gonna get high with the music on.
You know what I've been listening to a lot, though, has been All Things Must Pass. It's like coming out of the Beatles and the Beatles Get Back documentary. And really, like, because I've been moving so much of the business right now, it's kind of like a...
Well, that's why we got the cheap paper on the card. That's right.
Because it's been a very busy time. I have probably like 99% of everything moved or out. I had somebody that I know who scraps metal. I helped load up a whole trailer full of things for her, just giving her like, hey, you take it, because if not, these people they're either gonna bust my balls because I've left something here, and then they're gonna tag me. They're going to tag me for not removing it.
It's already gone.
or it's the fact that, it's just kind of like, well, she can earn money off of it. Why not?
Right.
And it's the holidays. So
that's the best way to get rid of something like that. We used to do it at the rink all the time. Free. And we had these 2 old water heaters, these huge water heaters, industrial ones. I said, what are we going to do with these damn things? I said, you know what? Just put free on it. Eventually someone will take it. It took like 2 weeks because we used to have people drive around trailers all the time looking if we wanted to get rid of it or not, they were taking it.
Yeah.
It wasn't nailed down because we'd be like, what the hell happened to that thing? I'll bet you someone stole it.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just glad that and sad that it's coming to an end, but it's been, I really want it to be done before Christmas. I want to be able to like kind of not have to worry about that space, but it's coming down to the wire because I have a few items left. This large ass heavy press that's cast iron. It was dumped on our doorstep. Worst case scenario, I'm moving it out and it's going to be a yard piece for us. It's just going to sit right there.
So someone just came by your place of business and just left it there?
When we were in the other space, so when we were in downtown Indy, we had a location there, and someone kind of delivered it on our doorstep, and then Ed just kept it because he was a printer and he kept the extra press. And,
they're talking about Ed, the creepy letter carrier.
No, not Ed, the creepy letter carrier. So you
just kept it, and now it's
just kind of been in our space, and that's just kind of how it goes. As an artist, you just collect things that you're just like,
what could it go for on eBay?
I need somebody to pick it up like tomorrow. That's what I need. So, and I've already kind of shared on through my site and what have you, and I have a cutter as well that's really nice, guillotine paper cutter, and it's old.
That's how they get the dolphins' heads off.
There's no dolphins that are being killed.
Stand still. Stay still. Stay still. Drop it already.
I feel like I have only a handful of competitors.
Flipper.
And one day they're going to discover that I do a podcast.
That's how they got
and they're
the
going to tune in and be like,
I got it.
Yeah.
Your kids? What?
No, not my kids, but my competitors. Like, I feel like one day, like, one of my competitors is going to be like, that's the guy that runs that store? He does a podcast? He's kind of a dick.
Come on, Matt.
I don't know how he's the favorite.
So, like, you guys got to listen to this podcast. The guy that that does the paper thing, like, he's on this podcast and he doesn't say much, like, for the first like hour and a half, and then at the end he just totally like becomes hilarious, and we don't know why.
He's the only paper guy that wears a butcher cover to go to work.
No, we had to shut down.
The guillotine makes a lot of sense now. It makes okay. Knowing you have a guillotine.
Patriots paper. Oh, I get it, Mike, because of football. Patriots paper. Dolphin paper.
It's like when we were in school, you had the paper cutter, like the block there with the razor.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
You're like, what the fuck?
I've got one of those as well.
I know someone chopped off a finger. kid in school with, but I think they attached it back or something. Stapler.
Wow. What? You're making this shit up.
Oh, the stapler part, yeah. It was the 70s. I wouldn't say the 80s, but I don't want Kim to get mad. No, it was probably the late 60s, early 70s.
Oh,
I don't know if a man had gone to the moon yet or not. It's something that I got to see,
but somehow the bone reconnected and it wasn't a dead finger.
I don't remember. I just remember a kid screaming and there'd be blood. And the teacher, ah!
It's amazing to me though, like just how technology changes so fast, but we don't realize it until later. Like how because it's like shit. Where was I going with this?
What was I just saying?
It's like my vinyl, my turntable that I have used for years was my dad's from the mid 70s. It's just an old Yamaha amp and an old turntable and old speakers, and they're still good. They still work, But then everything I'm putting into this new house, I'm using the Sonos stuff, which is all run through the internet. So you no longer need an amp. You don't need anything. You just need the turntable now,
or two.
And it just connects. It connects throughout your house, so you can have all these speakers that run through. Shut up, Jack. That run through. And like my dad, it's just it's amazing just how everything can just be connected now, and you can save space.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And then like we were talking, I don't know. I just think it's neat. It's like because you see one of those pictures, like I think it was like an early '80s Cadillac. And it was just a picture of the door. And it's like this door weighed more than your entire car now. Because those old '80s, just like a 100-pound door.
Yeah.
And you can imagine going up to a kid these days, like going to a 6-year-old who had to actually do a roll-up window. They would think it was the biggest fucking chore in the world.
What are you doing to me, man? This is what is this?
But that's what kept road rage down.
What is this?
Because by the time you got the window down, you forgot why you were mad at that person. It's like finally get the window down and goes, "Hey, how's it going?" Good.
Or they were already past you.
Because you
they were already past you.
Exactly. They were in the next town.
Okay, fuck it. Yeah.
But now you just press, and that thing comes down automatically, which you can just scream and yell. So that's road rage because of the windows. You go back to the windows, people aren't dying on the roads, right?
Yeah,
because it's like
probably also because people were drinking a lot more and driving too.
Exactly.
They were like, "Hey man, I'm trying to get home before the holidays," something like that, and then they crash. So
yeah, well, I had a friend that he was a DeSoto fan. He had an Edsel. He remodeled an Edsel. You guys look it up there's an investment. Yeah, if you think bad cars. Look up the Edsel. They also had DeSoto. He had one for parts and one that it was beautiful and he was done with it. Literally, you could take a hammer to the front of this car, hood part, where the lights were. You couldn't dent it.
Wow.
It was that solid. And the back seats were literally like
a bed.
A bed, yeah. Seriously, there was
and you could lay them out too. And just get it on.
Yeah, exactly.
There was no seatbelts in the way.
It's like you said. It's like when people say, "Hey, you want to go in the back seat?" You have that thing. Like you're saying, the seatbelt. You're choking yourself here, which
that was never there.
It was like what I had in high school was a '93 GMC truck, and Ben, I had the little extended cab. It's the little thing in the back.
Of course, it was extended.
It was an extended cab. Yeah. Well, it's things like
the extended
things that they don't even make anymore.
I had the wide girth cab.
So I had a full bench front, and then you have the bench in the back, which is just really through shit. But what you did is, like, if you had a girl with you, you just
what?
A girl
with you.
With you.
Yeah, a girl with you.
With you.
You just.
Don't be messing with those witchy girls, man.
Slide the. Okay, let me hit the internet catch up.
What are you sliding? Wait, what? You gotta be careful with these stories because you break up a lot, and it's like really.
It leaves you wide open, man.
Yeah, it does.
I'm just saying, as a young man in the middle of nowhere, if you have a date, you could, park somewhere and you'd slide the front bench forward, and then you could lay down the back of the front bench completely flush with the bench of the back seat. So you basically had an entire bed in the cab of your truck. So it was nice. You can't get that anymore.
No, you can't. I used to want a Brat. Remember the Subaru Brat? Had the seats in the back. It was like a truck, but it had seats in the back.
Someone else has got to read that.
Didn't have internet back then.
John, I think you and I are the only ones that know what Adam 12 is.
Nope, I had an Adam 12 lunchbox. Thank you very much.
Oh,
and I never knew what the fuck it was.
So you are fucking older than you claim to be.
That thing was a relic, even when I owned it, and I was like, "What is
one Adam 12? One Adam 12. See
Jeez.
the man."
Anyway, Mike says, besides a GMC truck in high school, Nick had better internet with 56K AOL internet. It's fair assessment there. Adam 12, read your loud and clear.
It's almost there. It's almost there.
That lunchbox like it was yesterday, just like that Kleenex box. I had a lot of boxes in my day.
So you had an Adam 12. Was it a hand-me-down or how did you get stuck with it? Because Adam 12 was.
It was a total hand-me-down. It was a total hand-me-down. Mm-hmm. So, here it is, right here. I'm going to pull it up.
I bet you wish you still had it.
It just brings back memories. So seeing that, so I'm going to try to pull this up and share this with everyone that cares. So this right here with this.
I remember that.
Wow.
Oh shit! It zoomed in on that. But see this little kid right here that's just like got his head stuck in the
fence. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I remember that.
The head stuck in the fence, and he's like, "Oh, let me out of this." So yeah, I wish I could zoom in more.
See the thermos on the side because you had to have the thermos because, especially in San Diego, we'd get like hot soup to stay warm when it got down to like 65. But I remember getting in trouble. I had a lunchbox, and I can't remember what the brand was, but I broke the thermos. So my mom got me, "You break this one, da-da-da." Well, I got pushed down. The lunchbox opened up. The thermos broke. I was getting bullied, but I got in trouble for it. Still to this day, I'm bitter about it because I broke another thermos. First one was my fault. The second one, I was being assaulted.
That's how it always goes. That's
why your dad should have got you one of those like workman's thermoses, like they're like weigh like 10 pounds. You beat the shit out of some of that thing.
Exactly. You probably can't even take those to schools now, right?
Probably not. Yeah. It's a lethal weapon.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't even born yet when
Adam 12 was on that long, 7 years.
68 to 75. Wow. That is a long time.
That's midlife crisis years.
Not even close.
Whenever I see the kid with his head stuck between the bars, though, it reminds me of the McDonald's playgrounds in the 80s. Where you had it was basically a burger with the bars around it. If you
the hamburger.
Yeah. I don't know if it's the actual. I think it was the cop one, not the actual Hamburglar.
Was there a cop one? I mean, cop was a burger.
It was like it was a blue tower with a burger.
Yeah,
and I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
But like every kid would stick their head through those fucking bars, and then they got rid of them because you'd have to like bend the bars or cut them to get the kid out because the ears would, flat back.
Whatever happened to those characters? I wish I had I wish I was like Jay and saved them.
I actually saw like someone post that recently. They went to a McDonald's and asked about the Hamburglar or what was the purple guy that was just like a purple thing?
Oh, Grimace.
Grimace. Yeah. They asked about Grimace, and the employee had no idea what they were talking about.
Grimace definitely had a midlife crisis.
That's it. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So if everyone we're looking at the burger with the bars.
Grimace had an Adam 12 lunchbox.
Burger with the bars. Yep. We're taking a trip down our nostalgic.
That looks like Jay.
Oh, that kid right there?
Yeah.
It looks like any kid from the 70s.
That's
this
Jay.
Looks really sad right here.
Yeah.
It's like
it looks like it's got
like
giant bird shit all over it.
It does.
Well, that's a dog thing, right? That's for dogs.
Who is the captain? I don't remember there being a captain.
That's Captain Crunch. Isn't it?
I don't know who. That kid looks sad. Yeah. No, I don't know who this captain thing
I think that's Captain Crunch. Look at the hat. It looks like doesn't it look like a sea?
But, Oh, okay. Here we go. I'm gonna change up here just for everybody that's listening. So
who's that old guy? Oh, that's me.
Oh, hey, how did he get on this show? This is a website that I found called The Horrors of McDonald's Playground, a walk down memory lane. So, so from here, it has a whole. There's a grimace.
Enter me here.
His whole body is made out of bars, and it looks like he swallows the kids.
Yeah.
So,
so that's the one I remember right there.
Yeah. And they called that the jail. No.
Yeah.
This is sad with the bathtubs.
That's where they eat their Cialis and look at the kids.
Whoa! Look at this Hamburglar, like with arms and huge legs, like he's a plastic man. That looks very strange. So you could ride a filet-o-fish kind of rider.
I remember that.
So it's like a little bouncy kind of like
Whoa, that's freaky.
Yeah, that is freaky.
Where's the aluminum slide?
It burnt your ass. There it is. There's one.
It says, "Don't laugh. The Burger King's corpse is buried under this thing." And that has the captain on it, which I don't know who this captain person is for McDonald's. So
I thought it was.
It says Captain Crook. The
Captain Crook.
Yeah, no.
You're a crook, Captain.
Nefarious
so they have the Hamburglar and Captain Crook.
Mm-hmm.
Very violent.
The fries.
I forgot about those things. Yeah.
I don't know why I keep getting ads for boiled eggs.
I saw that.
It's like they keep popping up boiled eggs. Like, hey
kids, it's me, Ronald McDonald.
Pray to Jesus for me. It is a McDonald's that is praying.
You want some fried eggs? Yeah.
I think that's it for that article.
Scary things we had growing up. But you know what? When you watched the TV show, you knew where to find it.
So, you guys know, my parents back in September brought me a lot of plastic tubs full of crap from my childhood. And it's actually been interesting this past week going through stuff they brought me, and just because it reminded me, they brought me some Burger King Ninja Turtle cups that I probably have not seen since '89. I'm like,
what are they going for on eBay?
I have no idea. They're cheap plastic though, like ones that you can almost like fold in on each other. So I doubt they're worth much.
People like you got people that love the '80s.
I'm still looking at these Kleenex boxes.
Kleenex boxes,
I mean, there was one that I saw for $20 that is a cool Ralph McQuarrie painting of the lightsaber. No, that one's flattened. The one that with the Yoda that I remember as a child, that one is together still, but it has no Kleenexes inside of it. It's been opened. Still really high for $45. So
yeah, piece of cardboard.
I'm waiting for something else to pop up.
It's just neat to see that stuff because, I know, like Matt and I have two now. Return of the Jedi glasses. One's a glass and one's a plastic cup. And I'm like, man, these things are 40 years old. It's just crazy.
Yeah, that is nuts.
His McDonald had push. Yeah, exactly.
Well,
even crap that I find from Comic-Con. I found this the other day, which is a flash drive box. Matt,
wait, who is that?
So this is Han and Carbonite.
It looked like somebody else.
You open it up. So here's Han and Carbonite, but you open it up and here's Han, a flash drive. And then you take his hair off, and there's the flash drive.
You gave him a funny mustache. He looked like someone else.
Yeah.
He looks scared. His face is terrified.
Get a little Sharpie and put a little mustache.
That is cool.
I didn't make the thing, but
I'm not saying you did. I'm just saying it's what it looked like to me.
Jack, quit abusing the other hosts.
Oh, here you go. And then this one, I bought this one because it was limited, like it was actually gonna be worth something. But
Bosk flash drive.
Yeah, Bosk flash drive. Stuff that I've just bought and never used.
The thing with Star Wars fans is that a lot of them focus on one character because there's just so much stuff. So, there's a Bosk fan out there that's just buying all of the Bosk stuff. So
trying to get a monopoly on it. I did not. I was going to complain to McDonald's about this because I know you're a big anti-plastic guy, Matt.
Man,
but you get a Happy Meal, and the toys are wrapped in a plastic, right?
Mhm.
You open it up, and there's other things that are in this plastic that are in plastic.
Oh,
yeah.
the plastic within plastic.
Oh,
How much plastic do you fucking need,
Yeah.
McDonald's? I mean, I can't believe people haven't protest that, because I'm like going, I almost thought about doing a YouTube video about it.
If you release Han from the carbonite, you might be able to fix Nick's internet.
Maybe.
Actually, it was only C-3PO and R2-D2 that truly fixed the hyperdrive on the Millennium Falcon. So
yeah,
you did it. Never doubted you for a second. Wonderful. Marvelous. Shit, not forget.
Forget again.
I always forget. Like, you get me on something funny with Star Wars, and I forget what I'm trying to say. Is that horse giving it to that lamb there, or what's going on here?
Kind of whispering. It's a horse whispering kind of moment here on the RCAD.
That happened in Yellowstone yesterday. Get in there and grab it. Put that bucket in there and make sure you don't spill a drop. Yeehaw.
So I've been listening to a lot of All Things Must Pass.
Oh, right. Back to the 20 minutes ago. Yeah. Go ahead.
No, it's a good album to listen to as I'm cathartically letting go of this other space and moving and kind of, I don't know, like also just coming out of that Beatles. It's just such a great album. It's very spiritual, and
it's a great album.
It just the Wah Wah song, like I've always loved that, and it's one that, and Isn't It a Pity is just so amazing. I know that
Jack,
it
sounds like you're farting.
I was hoping someone would say something like that.
They're fighting all over this All Things Must Pass thing, but I'm gonna let it go.
To me,
I got my granddaughter trying to fart on.
And the Apple Jams. I just want like a whole other album of Apple Jams.
Yeah,
can I just have that?
I do like Apple Jams.
To me, the only weak song on the entire record is "I Dig Love." I still like it, but I think it's the only one that's a kind of little weak compared to the rest. You know, like I mean, because like to me, I'd
Have You Anytime is probably my least favorite. It opens up the album, and I'm just not as.
I love that song.
It's fine. To me, the message, and I don't know. The words and the music's great.
Find it, bud.
So, well, I mean, because the two songs that were written for Bob Dylan were "I'd Have You Anytime" and "Behind That Locked Door."
Okay. Huh. Interesting.
Because like basically, "I'd Have You Anytime" is, you know, because Bob had kind of pushed himself away from everybody
Lorena?
At that point, you know, and so that's what he's saying is like, you know, let me in here. I know I've been here. Let me, you know, like let me be around you. And then, you know, Behind That Locked Door is like, you know, you've got all of this stuff to say. You've got so much talent. You know, stop hiding. You know.
All right, I'm here. I got it.
To me, I love Run of the Mill. Run of the Mill is one of my favorites on that record, which was written about Paul actually.
Okay. I thought Wah Wah.
He was the walrus.
Wah Wah is the day he quit the Beatles. He wrote that when he went home.
Wah.
Okay.
When he opened up that restaurant, right?
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think would be nothing can help.
No, that makes sense. Like the Wah Wah song, like in reference to that whole quitting.
You made me
Beatles.
such a big star, being here at the right time. You know.
Yeah,
you know, it's like he wrote that about Paul.
And
yeah, I mean, like All Things Must Pass is like and you know, a year ago, 2 years ago, when COVID hit, we were doing the top 10 records that influenced you, Matt. You know, you did that, and like Living in the Material World, which was George's second solo record.
Sorry.
To me, has you're right, Jack, in a way, but not really.
Come on, you don't think that when you hear Material?
Living in the Material World is more significant to me than All Things Must Pass, because that is really George's first record post Beatles, because all the songs All Things Must Pass were written during the Beatles, and Living in the Material World is a statement in that George still had a lot of songs that he wrote during the Beatles period, but he decided to wait, and all this material on Living Material is brand new, like he wrote it for that record. And also at the time, the reason why I had to buy Living Material World is because when I got into the Beatles and George Harrison specifically, All Things Must Pass was out of print because they were preparing for the 30th anniversary. And so I had to wait like another year.
No.
But great record. Fuck! Did I break up again? Shit.
Can't argue with you. Can't argue with you, Nick.
Yeah. Anyway. George Harrison, if everyone knows who's listened to this podcast for a long time, is my favorite Beatle. So I'm a huge George fan.
Wait. I've never heard that.
Okay.
He's a good pick.
Yeah, no, and
I
think
my favorite's the guy that kicked out.
Microfish. What's microfish? What are we talking about here?
You know, microfish, when you microdose and go to a fish concert.
You never microfish at a
Fish heads. Fish
go the full.
No, microfish is that material that's like printed
paper.
on. No, it's printed on plastic. You know, it's like a plastic kind of thing that
It was
you
Dolphin's
go
Paper's
through.
first attempt.
No,
Plastic
microfish.
on
It's this thing that you use to like look through articles on. You know, you see it a lot of times. And
You mean YouTube?
are you serious? You guys don't know what microfish is?
I don't know what microfish is.
Really? Is it?
Heard of fish sticks?
Huh. All right. Okay, I'm gonna pull up and share my image.
I've never seen a detective show where they have to go back and
I
look.
feel like you're fucking with me.
But George Harrison is the reason why I picked up the ukulele. It's because
micro tuna fish. I got it.
Because George Harrison loved the ukulele, so that's why I picked it up myself.
Oh wow! It's like we got a little behind the scenes there for.
Anyway,
I think you should end this show with a song.
Yeah, he's a producer.
I'm like putting you on the spot. No pressure, Nick. Just come up with a nice little Christmas ditty as we end this show.
Pronounced flesh? Micro flesh? Is that what it is?
Fish, as in like fish. I like fish.
We always said
like,
I always said fish though, even though I don't know what you're talking about.
Fish. Jack's fucking with us.
You got any microfish?
the fish.
And everyone knew what you're talking about, but yeah, Kim here, so that's why she hated the 80s, because everyone pronounced it wrong.
I can't believe we have more watchers now. I don't know how this is happening.
We do?
So
people watch us?
For some reason.
Stalker.
For some reason.
I think we get more watchers than listeners.
So since I won't see you guys for a while, I know Nick's going away. Jack, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Nothing.
Season? Well, you got to be doing something. Like
we're having we're going skate this Friday. Is this Friday Christmas? We're going skating.
Oh,
as
okay.
a family, something we haven't done. I haven't been on skates in over. I got to get my skates sharpened. I think
I'm skating. So,
but we're taking all the grandkids. It's an outdoor rink here that they, But yeah, we've
nothing to hold on to at an outdoor rink.
No,
except you. So you'll probably be kind of like
I wouldn't hold on to me.
Yeah, because Jack's smooth like silk. He's got no hair to grab hold of. He just just fly right off
my legs. It's just like
He's like a speed skater.
Yeah. Plus it's cold. It's cold there, so there's really nothing. Where it's cold, it's like being in the pool.
It's everything shrinks. Yeah, I mean, look how aerodynamic Jack is.
I'm like Ken and Barbie and Ken. Just saying. You ever have one of those? You ever have a Ken doll?
I bet.
I'm just picturing Jack on a dating website now. You ever seen a Ken doll? Hey, ladies.
I used to have that hair, but the rest. Okay, I get. It's probably there.
I don't want to be a threat to anybody. Just want to let you know I'm a Unix down there. It's just all smooth.
A eunuch?
Nope, I call it Unix.
I do like my microfish though.
There's just a tiny little microfiche bulb down there, and you can rub up against that. So
John the
Merry
Mexican
Christmas.
apparently doesn't like Beatles talk.
Oh yeah. He doesn't want us to.
He's trying to sleep.
It's part of our DNA, I think, as far as Nick and I. I feel like it's something that we connect on as far as.
I thought you were going to sing a MASH song. Oh, Tokyo, they got Sasaki and Tsushima. Remember the guy would sing? He was a doctor that would sing.
Singing doctor.
Suicide is painless.
Hey, that kid made millions. I told you that, right?
Yeah.
They wrote that song.
He was like 14 when he wrote it. It was the director's son. He said, I need a crazy, funny song. And he's
just
made
because it's
millions
played.
off royalties. That kid did one thing in his life. I mean, maybe he's done more. I don't know.
And that's what's funny is that, like, today he probably wouldn't make shit off of it. Maybe because it's on an actual TV show that has to pay it. But, if he wrote the song now, because, the way publishing works in music industry is just so different where you don't make anything anymore off of streaming or purchase it off of iTunes. Like, you only make money off of touring, which sucks.
That's why I'm not in a band anymore.
Yeah.
That's why we're going on tour next year. So stay tuned.
We should do a Ramblecast.
Ramblecast live on tour.
Drive on.
We'll get a
Thank you for the two people that showed up.
Yeah, one guy in the back. Chris, interrupt somebody. Hurry up. Okay, this is
how's Chris on the internet now?
Okay, this is
I kind of
this goes out to our fan in the back.
He would show up just magically, he'd be like, "Are you still?"
We should have him on the podcast.
Chris?
No, it's not Chris. The guy from that thing you do, the fan.
Oh, sure. That's gonna be your Twitter 2022 goals there for you. Okay.
I couldn't get what's his name on
2022. That's gonna be a tongue twister. 2022. 2022. It's like you got to say 2022. Sorry, this is going nowhere. Glad that everybody's still listening to us and joining us live. I want to thank Mike and John, Kim. John again, Sherry that was with us earlier, Matt, Tristan, Randy for not showing up. I really do appreciate that. That made
everyone's grateful for that. Yeah.
It was just so good. Had some also Matt Krieb who had joined us earlier, and John from the other John from my neck of the woods and
trying to stay
Midwest.
Beatles podcast. What? That would be podcasting gold. Golden slow.
Oh, Tokyo, they got some sake and
I'm looking forward to taking some time off from all my work and not doing anything except enjoying my kids' toys.
Playing with your wand, Jack.
Mike, maybe that'll be my New Year's resolution that I will post the show on Instagram and Twitter.
I cannot tell a lie
and not be so lazy.
Yeah, but the thing is that we can't do it.
Do I look like
Twitter because Jack's
no. I
not
usually share. I usually share on Instagram. I've just been very, very.
I'm just saying, like, Jack's not on Twitter because he's got rage issues.
He does. I don't know why. So maybe it's been all of this time pent up on the ice.
I just want to be a boy.
I'd like to thank also some patrons that make the show possible. So they have.
It looks like Pinocchio. Come on, am I right?
I got you.
Nope.
You're just jealous, Matt.
I haven't played this in forever.
Don't interrupt these names now, okay? I don't have them to show you guys. Sorry, they are prefab like Chris hates, but they're seasonal. And Treetopper Tack, Evergreen Eckhart, Ornamental Ed, Mistletoe Maggie, and Holly Jolly Joanne. Thank you for doing what you do. Thanks for making this show possible. Do appreciate that. I'm gonna miss you guys. A little bit. I mean, it's always nice to get away because when we come back, we have a lot of things to talk about.
It's true. It's like, because I'm sure I'll have a few mom stories by that point.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, I love your mom stories.
Yeah. It's like the other day, like, that came up in September and it was okay. It could have been better. Could have been worse. But yeah, for some reason the other day, I felt like I wanted to have some popcorn. I was like, I want some popcorn. So I went and got, some popcorn out of the cupboard. And I have one fairly big Tupperware bowl that I usually put my popcorn in. Couldn't find the fucking thing. I'm like, where the fuck's my Tupperware bowl? I never use it except for when I eat popcorn. Lady. Yeah. And like, guess what? My mom stole my fucking Tupperware. I'm like, why the fuck did you take my Tupperware? I call her. I'm like,
you don't do that with Tupperware. It's known that you give it back. You can borrow it, but you give it back.
So sad.
He got so pissed that she took his internet too.
Yeah, no.
She put it in the Tupperware.
Take some of your
That's what
mom's
she does.
internet, bring it back with you next year.
She brought me all of her old shit and took my shit. I'm like, why are you taking my shit? She took my Tupperware bowl. I'm like, well,
I think you need to steal a Tupperware from her when you go back. Like somehow sneak it out.
Tupperware? It's like $3. Like, why would you steal my Tupperware?
You have to give it back. That's the law for locking in freshness.
Oh, did you say Mistletoe Maggie? I missed that one. That was a good one.
Yeah,
I missed them all.
Oh,
You missed them all?
I wouldn't listen.
Well, he was playing the music and it was real sentimental, and we were going to close out the show, but then we had
The
to
music
talk
was
about,
great.
Nick's mom and her Tupperware problem. So,
Her mom stealing the Tupperware.
all right, good night, everyone, and thanks for joining us.
God bless and have a safe and happy New Year.